before Rhythm, we were actually very good at following the Rockefeller habits. We were religiously doing quarterly planning. We would go off-site. We would basically take the senior management team and we would work on basically what's the most important thing for the company for the quarter, and then we would break that down into individual priorities for each of the senior management team members. The one thing that probably was not easy to follow before Rhythm was just keeping track of what those goals were. When we met on a weekly basis, we were talking about the company objectives, we were talking about the individual objectives, but it was very easy to just overlook something and very easy to not talk about something because we didn't have that central repository where we could essentially look at the objectives and then follow them, how they were going on a week after week basis, which we can do really well with Rhythm just because we can go in status before our week in sync meetings, before our weekly meetings. And you can see how things go from green to red, and then we can have a discussion about that. And then, as the quarter tracks and we all come together and try to work on things, we can use Rhythm to see how things went through the quarter from green to red, maybe to yellow, and then back to green. Life after Rhythm, I have probably the biggest example that I can think of at AvidXchange where Rhythm really helped us execute. We started in 2011, we decided that it was going to be strategic for us to start a new product. We'd been in business for roughly 11 years, and the product that we had started the company with, still our primary flagship product, but we knew it was time to reinvent the company. So we went off-site, we set up some objectives, we came up with a rough idea of what the product was, and it took us roughly 6 months after that planning session to execute and get the product out to the customer's hands. If it wasn't for Rhythm, I really don't think we would have been able to hit those objectives at the same time, with the same frequency, with the same execution discipline that Rhythm really helped us out with. And we were able to launch that product. So we had the offsite in June, we launched the product in January the next year. This year, so this is the first year that we've actually had the product, and it hasn't even been all the way through the year. It's going to end up being roughly 10% of our revenue this year. And so just executing on all those things and all those mechanics that it took to get the senior management team together and just execute from product inception, product delivery, getting it in the customer's hands, and then actually getting it to revenue generation. Rhythm, you can look in our Rhythm, you can see how every goal tracked from the beginning of that to the end. And we attribute the discipline that helped us kind of create the central repository and being able to talk about those things on a weekly basis really is just how we churned it out. In addition to being an executive team member and using Rhythm to help us kind of execute on the company goals at a senior management team level, last year we actually started using a feature in Rhythm known as cascading. And what that allows us to do is it allows the senior management team members to take those objectives that we come up with on a quarterly basis and then start figuring out how that really affects our team. How does that affect my team? So as head of R&D, this has always been something that was done, maybe done this way one quarter, another way the other quarter, but there was really no systematic way for me to manage the objectives for the group. So we implemented cascading in our group last year. Or earlier this year, and last year we had an objective that in 2012 we were trying to increase our productivity. So in R&D we measure things and we call it a velocity metric. And in Q3 of last year we were able to achieve a certain metric, and we were trying to get the 2012 metric higher. Well, in 2012 Q3 this year, using the Rhythm execution method all the way through the Q1, Q2 with Rhythm, we were able to increase our productivity in R&D by about 300%. I do attribute a lot of that with being able to just systematically talk as a group, bring the entire group together. We always talk about what the quarterly objectives are, and we have people roll those objectives down, and that makes it all the way down to the coders that are writing the code, the QA people that are testing the code, tech ops who are out there kind of keeping it all up and running. We're able to tie all those objectives together, and everybody can see how they contribute to that overall goal.